is since I've decided to come back, to rise from the grave, I keep doing these debates with these big lefty Twitch streamers, whether it be Xanderhall, who's a damn genius compared to Surfs, I'll tell you right now, or Surfs. All of the lefty sphere have a damn meltdown saying, how dare you make Lauren Southern look good? How dare you make her sound reasonable? I have something to tell you, my friends. Perhaps it's not them making me look good. Perhaps it's not their fault for making me sound reasonable. Perhaps they're just damn insane and no one has come into this hug box to tell you reasonable things for a long time, and I just am reasonable. Like, is it going to be debate number 700 that I do with these people that you realize it's not them making me look sane, it's because I have sane takes? We have reached the period where you have someone like Destiny, who, let's be real, he was like the biggest pushback on me. He owned me in that immigration debate. I will take that. To be fair, I was like 20, 21 or something. That was a bit ago. But he was the biggest pushback against the right. And now he is being called a radical right-winger by these psychos because they have been so radicalized on this website. So we need a balancing of scales. That is one of the many reasons I've decided to come onto Twitch, and that will be a big focus of this channel. I'm going to have people on here to debate all the time. I'm going to hopefully set up a schedule. Right now, I'm thinking Thursday, Friday nights. One day will just be a chat night, and one day will be a big debate night. I think it should be fun. It'll be a bit more of a chill vibe, but still chill enough that I won't get banned. Fingers crossed. I mean... we'll see, but push back enough that we can hopefully head into the belly of the beast here and get some 14-year-olds out alive. That's the thing. My audience are, if I look at the numbers, they're around 22 to late 30s. That's my typical audience. And I normally wouldn't go on a site or engage like a Snapchat or something where there is like a younger, more teenage audience. But it's literally so bad here. Like, this is the thing with conservatives, is they so often say, oh no, like, we don't have to get into the arts. We don't have to engage ourselves in the education institutions. We don't need to write kids' books. And what happens is all of these radicals will come in and be like, all right, we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll write kids' books about how your children need to, oh man. Gotta watch myself so I don't get banned on my first stream. We'll write all of these kid books saying how your kids need to be going and throwing Molotov cocktails at protests. We'll do all of these streams about how we need the minimum wage to be $300. We'll do that for the teenagers, since you guys want to go and have conversations. You want to go into your boomer spheres. I enjoy the boomer spheres. I love you, my boomers. I know there's probably very few here, but we do need a balancing of scales. Now... Good day, everyone. The chat's going pretty fast. I'm trying to pay attention to... Oh, sorry, my other computer here just died. There we go. Now, there's another reason that I've also wanted to do streaming for a bit. And a lot of the people who are kind of new to my audience, who have just begun watching me, whether it be because of my recent debates or since I returned, they've got this weird opinion of me where they can only view me as myself from 5-6 years ago. And I get it. They'll go on YouTube and they'll see a video Lauren Southern recommended to them from 5 years ago. They'll watch it, and then 4 seconds later, they'll click on a video of me today, and they'll be like, this is the exact same person from the video I just watched, without knowing there were 6 years of thoughtful development within that. There were 6 years of life experience that I've gained. And I also think that's why a lot of people underestimate me when they go to talk to me. Not that I'm like this big brain genius that's going to destroy everyone I debate. No, I just find there is a lot of underestimating because of that. And I think it's a little more difficult to do that and to just see someone as this fixed individual in time from 5-6 years ago just because you watched that video when someone is live streaming. It's a little more natural, a little more, every other week you're chatting, and it's difficult to create a caricature of someone. So that's... Well, the chat's gone whack. Mods, that's on you to play whack-a-mole. I can't even read it. Something about Richard Spencer. Black people and something of the population. It's going so fast I can't read it. But mods, I trust you. Whack-a-mole here. You got this. All right. So I certainly do not... I'm a lot of people on here that are going to see me get into the new debate sphere. They're going to want to see me do this whole disavowal of everything I've done in my past. Lauren, you need to be on your knees crying and groveling for every single thing you have ever done in your life, even if we've just made it up, even if we've just exaggerated. And that's not what's going to happen here. I just want to have genuine, real discussions with people, debates with people, as I am now, because it's a lot easier to engage with someone, or a video, or a version, or a cartoon of someone you've created from when they were 20 compared to when they're 26, because I'm so ancient now. So I'm just looking at my points here. We've got the debate sphere is in a woeful state. Yep, we got that. We've got, I really hate how people view me as a fixed object in time. And then the third point was, I think a lot of conservatives in media feel the need to LARP as this image of perfection. And I thought this for a while too. You have to LARP, no cursing. You're supposed to be barefoot in the kitchen all the time. You know, everything is supposed to be a super intellectual conversation. You never drink. You've never done anything wrong in your life, which is obviously not the case. So what I found when I went out into the world and I met so many of my conservative idols is I was just blown away by the difference between who they were on screen and who they were off screen, which I think a lot of conservatives thought helped them, because they were like, if I show this sanitized version of myself, no one can criticize me for hypocrisy. No one can criticize me for not following the trad conservative lifestyle. But what it really created was, you know, anyone who actually met them, or if any of this stuff ever came out in the media, it was like, you guys are just liars. And it made them seem like liars. And that's why, you know, I think you just have to be a bit more authentic. And I think streaming makes that easier. You know, if you're out there showing your day-to-day life, if you're showing, hey, I'm not perfect, but, you know, conservatism and conservative ideals are not something, you achieve overnight. And they're not something you necessarily ever achieve perfectly. It's something you strive towards. Let me just take a sip of beer here. As I talk about how I am an imperfect conservative. Oh, look at these look at Samantha Banana go with the bands. What a champ. I heard that Samantha was in the Scouts or the Army or something before, doing sniping and sniping away with the bands. Good stuff. I've decided that Beer Mom is the conservative version of Wine Mom. Oh my gosh, we got rated, but it's bringing those view counts up, so that's good. Thank you guys. Much appreciated. Yeah, so I don't really have too much that I'm going to be talking about tonight, answering a few of your questions for the rest of the stream. Really, this stream is just a tester, make sure that I've figured out how the programs work. I've bought I'll show you. So I've got a scene where I'm going to try to set up the chat. I'll show you right now. This is what it's going to look like. I'll put the chat in that box there, and I'll put whoever I'm interviewing up in the top right box. Then we got some internet browsing. There we go. We got the whole design ready, my friends. So that's an MLG layout. Feels good, man. I've had a few people tell me that I've got the bisexual colors for my background. I had no idea what the bisexual flag was before, but apparently the bisexual flag is my background. So and I thought that was a good thing. I thought I'd collect another Infinity Stone of not getting banned, but apparently bisexual is bigoted now. Someone was trying to explain it to me. Lauren is going to play some Fortnite. I'll probably play a bit of League. I'll probably play a bit of... I've played Fortnite before. If anyone remembers, way back in 2015, 2016, there was an account on Twitter named Pizza Party Ben. And I used to play Fortnite with him. He was up in Alaska. It was a big kind of mega Trump personality. But Fortnite, League of Legends, RuneScape. I've got an ancient RuneScape account that I haven't played in a while. I like Call of Duty, but I've never played it on computer. I always played it on PS4, so we'll do a bit of that while we're doing debates and chatting. Lauren, I know you're a closet FIFA player. Absolutely not. I dated a guy who now designs all the faces on the FIFA players, though, at EA Studio. So that was kind of cool. Wow. What was I going to chat about? I have completely lost what I was going to talk about. But that's all right. She doesn't have a sub button yet. She will soon. I literally have no idea how that works. Oh yeah, I was going to mention that I used to game a ton. I've never talked about it that much publicly because what in common does gaming have to do with conservative politics and discussion other than that brief period where conservatives wanted to ban all video games? And then Gamergate happened, and for some reason, gaming became a conservative position, and now it's been reclaimed. Truly, perhaps, gaming is the battlefield of all political discourse. Elections are determined by who owns the gamers. They're wasting all these times on political advertisements, campaigns, speeches. But if you really look at how elections have gone, it has always been who owns the gamers. Gamergate happened, bam, Trump. You had Twitch and the gaming sphere taken over by leftists, bam, Biden. I'm telling you, it's the gaming sphere. But yeah, I used to work at EB Games for like 5 years when I was in high school. So I did all of the opening release nights. I did the opening release nights of at least like 2 Call of Duty games. I did opening release of one of the big Assassin's Creed. I did opening night of GTA 5, up all night till like 3 a.m., midnight release. Loved that. But the only place that ever would have made me a communist, I'll tell you right now, was working at EB Games. One day I'll do a big in-depth discussion about it, but oh man, I don't know. They can't sue me like a million years after I've worked there, right? Yes, this is Lauren Lore. I don't think they can sue me after if I say something that okay. I'm telling you right now, do not buy refurbished stuff from EB Games. Every employee that works there is forced to hit a 50% refurbished rate, or they will emotionally abuse you until you do and threaten to fire you. And you tell everyone that we send those damn games back to go get repaired and fixed, and we've got a machine they go through. No, we just repackage that stuff up, and you gotta sell it, even if you know it's barely gonna work to someone. And then usually half the time, 3 days later, they come back and they're like, this system literally doesn't work. I thought you said it was refurbished. It was so bad, because you'd always have to balance someone is looking for advice and really they can't afford a really expensive PS3, so they want to buy a refurbished one. But I'm pretty certain that this refurbished machine doesn't work very well, and that's why someone traded it in. But also, the general manager is going to assassinate me if I don't get my refurbished rates up to 50%. So I'm telling you guys, EB Games, GameStop, same thing. Sus as hell. That stuff... I worked there for 5 years. You want to know what raise I got? They legit sat me down after 3 years of working there and gave me a 10-cent raise. I was really teetering. I was at this point in my life where I was teetering off into becoming a communist. And I think I don't know, I went to university and the craziness of university just sent me the other way, but EB Games almost made me a communist. And I will be grateful about it. That's right, Direwolf. That 10-cent raise. Another little Lauren lore, since we don't have any debates scheduled for tonight. It's just chatting. This book, The Essentials of Marcuse, I actually got from... I stole it. I redistributed it to myself. I redistributed the literature to myself. My communist friend in university, I was like 19, we ran a radio show at the campus that had like 10, 20 listeners called Liberty Now, and we would debate about politics. And he lent me this book when he was going through a hardcore communist phase. And we just argue all the time. I was super libertarian, like into Ayn Rand, running for the Libertarian Party at the time. And I didn't see him for years after I redistributed his book to myself, and still have not returned it to this day. But I didn't see him for like 3 years. And then I was in Australia, in Brisbane, I think, for my tour. And he walks up to me and he's like, Lauren. I was like, holy crap, you're in Australia living here? And not only that, he was wearing a MAGA hat. And we brought him into the green room, had a crazy discussion. He's like, yeah, I went into the workforce and kind of lived out reality, and it totally shifted my views. He was like he was a philosophy major studying Marxism and communism, was like so hardcore into it. Didn't see him for 3 years, see him at my event, and he's a full-on mega Trump supporter, right wing. Really good conversation though. I think, if I recall, the reason was he was working as a manager at a bar, and they were paying people really good wages. I think it was like $27 an hour, and the minimum wage in Australia is already much, much higher than the States and Canada. And he's like, Lauren, I could barely get people to work for a good wage. I don't know how communists expect people to work for nothing. Like, I don't know how they expect people to work for no incentive when I can't even get people to work for a good wage. So he had a huge, also dealing with violent people at night, dealing with harassment and crime and theft and that kind of stuff. You know, you get to the point where it's that famous Ann Coulter quote, a leftist is just a conservative who hasn't been mugged yet, where you realize, okay, you know, maybe a little law and order in society is necessary. But yeah, AO says people wear MAGA hats in Australia. Yeah, they were wearing them in Canada during the 2016 election. It was, you know, as much as I have my moments where I've been super disappointed in Trump and not impressed, I don't think he fulfilled a lot of his campaign promises, although I understand there are multiple facets as to why and multiple complications as to why. Trump was a much bigger movement than himself. The whole MAGA thing was a much bigger movement than just that man or the US campaign. It was just a totally anti-establishment rejection of the hyper-progressive stuff, return to, you know, what people saw as order and sanity at the time. And sure, I'll wear the red hat if that's what makes me stand out as not with the direction civilization is going at the moment. So the MAGA hat, I don't think he wore it because he was like, oh man, yeah, Trump's my candidate. I think a lot of people wore it because it resembled way more than just the red MAGA hat. Jim Maloney said, the problem with socialism is that eventually you run out of other people's money. Precisely. You know, I'm not going to pretend I am like the best economic debater. I'm not. I am far from... Oh, sorry, getting some notifications on my computer here. I won't usually do economic debates, my friends, just because that has not always been my strong point. But while I've been watching the discourse on Twitch, I've realized the level of economic understanding here, because it's mostly for 14-year-olds, is so low that I may actually not have a problem in that category if I decide to enter that sphere. It's so... yeah, it's bad. It's bad here. But I completely understand why a lot of older, more established commentators don't want to be on Twitch. You're never going to see like a Douglas Murray here on Twitch. You're never going to see, you know, some of the more academics here on Twitch. It's just not the community for that. I think partially, and I get this, boomers just do not have time for these screaming matches and blood sports and dumb arguments. They're like, just tell me the information. I got to get back to my life. You know, I've only got so much time left with it, and I'd like to keep up with what's going on, but enjoy it with a bit of peace and not unnecessary cringe and wanting to just die listening to what you're recording, which is, I can literally look at the demographics of who watched my serfs debate, and it's all younger people, whereas us younger people were like, destroy them. I will watch the crap out of this dumpster fire debate. And you know what? If that's what it takes to get young people interested in politics, and here's what's so funny to me, is so many people will be like, oh, Lauren has gotten on Twitch. This is clearly a terrible thing. She is going to radicalize all these people. My interest in coming to Twitch is actually to de-radicalize a bunch of young people who literally think we need to eat the rich, who literally think that there is a genocide going on in Canada and a genocide going on in America of minority populations, because that's how insane the discourse has gotten. To de-radicalize these people from thinking half the population need to be kicked off of social platforms and lose their jobs because they voted for Trump. Like, if you don't think that's radical, I don't know how to help you guys. I don't know. But there just really needs to be a pushback here, my friends. When DGG said, I don't think it's true that boomers want information. Did you see how big the QAnon movement is? What's so weird is I never saw much of the QAnon movement until it like got popular in the media, but that stuff absolutely does concern me. I think the QAnon stuff is ridiculous. It's absurd, obviously. Is there anyone still holding on to that? I can't imagine after, there was all this promises that Biden was absolutely like not going to be in office and it was just going to be Trump wearing a mask. He was going to rip it off and secretly he was president. I can't imagine there's anyone still following QAnon at this point. Maybe I think, and this is something that's come with me exploring the world a bit more, is my interpretation and how I have experienced the world has been from a really good community. I didn't grow up super wealthy, but I actually, my first crib when I was born was the bathtub. So I was born to be a bathtub streamer, my friends. No, my first crib was the bathtub because my parents just couldn't afford a crib. So they put blankets in it and put me there. But the communities they chose to be around were really positive, kind, just wonderful communities. And so I remember seeing feminist talk for the first time on, I think it was Tumblr, because I was really into Tumblr when I was younger, and them saying all these men are evil, all these men are horrible people, and I was like, but all the men in my community are really lovely and really wonderful and sweet, but none of the, conservatives in my community are QAnon crazies, none of the XYZ are, like, I just grew up in a really sane, normal community, and then I went out into the world, and, I met the odd guy that was really horrible and pushy, and I was like, okay, this is what they're talking about. I get it, but I also know you're lying because not all men are like this. I've met other men, go out in the world. Okay, so there are some crazy conservatives too. I get it. And that's where I haven't changed my beliefs. I'm still a conservative, but I definitely, in the last 6 years, literally flying to every country, flying and seeing what's going on with immigration on the ground, meeting all of my heroes in politics, both left and right. I've become a bit more thoughtful about it all, and that's undeniable. The timeline of the leftifying of the internet post-Gamergate. Oh, the second computer keeps shutting off. Post-Gamergate is so extensive. Yeah, it's gotten really bad. Humans are so bad at balance. We just can't do it. It's like... and this is what worries me, though, is I do think that scale is going to rebalance itself, but if it keeps going further left to the point where people are really bitter, like, you have banned us from all of your platforms, you have demonized us for years, gotten us banned from our jobs, destroyed our businesses, all of that stuff, there's going to be this resentment built up in people that, if it keeps manifesting like this with no counterweight, is going to make a hard swing right, like, way past where I'm at. It's just going to keep swinging until, we're having some 1700s France stuff where we're having, what can I say on Twitch that won't get me banned, my friends? Because I truly think that, I'm afraid that these swings both ways could lead to political violence. Am I allowed to say I don't want political violence to happen? Because I'm worried that even talking about it or mentioning it might get me banned. Let me know in the chat. I don't know what's going on. Best to say nothing. I'll just keep my mouth shut and go back to Marxist Hot Tub streaming. Sounds good. David says, thoughts on de-radicalizing those on the far right? There's this great meme. Shall we try something, my friends? Shall we try and see if I can get my browser content working here? I'm going to find this meme and show it to you guys. It's going to take me a minute because I barely understand how OBS works. And I decided to put on nails for the stream. I don't know how ladies who always do the long nails do it because I can barely type, but... All right. I think I've got it. And you know what? I actually have some questions for the lefties in the audience. Okie dokie. Is this gonna work, guys? I think it just might. All right. Let me know if you can see that. Let me know if that is working. I'll check on my Twitch here. I think it is. Okay, so this meme is exactly what happened to the right. I'm telling you right now because I experienced this. I was watching the Vosh debate with Charlie Kirk, and they were talking about critical race theory in schools, and I had a critical race theory course, essentially the first ones that were brought in. It was called Social Justice 12, my very last year of school. I can literally remember the teacher. I'm not going to dox her here, but we had to sit down, and the tests that they were describing on Tim Pool's podcast about, okay, answer the question, why as a white person are you privileged? Why do you think that Black people are upset with their skin color? Why do you think, all those questions? I literally remember filling out this test and it asking, can you find your skin color and makeup down the aisle? Can you do this? All asking about skin color and race stuff and whether you're privileged or not. And the big thing, I'll tell you right now, that pushed me to like, I definitely oppose all of this stuff, was they took us out to the lockers, or the teacher did, and she split us up and said, anyone who is white, go to that side of the lockers. Anyone who is non-white, go to that side of the lockers. You're privileged, you're oppressed. All right, women that side, men that side, you're privileged, you're oppressed. And split us up by group. If you are heterosexual, that side. If you're gay, that side. You're privileged, you're oppressed. And I was like, when it's that obvious in front of you, because I knew the fellow students that were in that class, I knew who was wealthy. I knew, like, one of the boys in that class, for example, I knew he was having home problems with literal, like, violence going on at home, a horrific situation he was in, literally was considering moving out while in high school, and he was put on the privileged side of the lockers, and I remember just getting so angry about it, and I never forgot that class. And what makes me so mad, this is like doubly this meme, is there was you know what, I'm going to take this meme down because it's probably going to end up getting me banned too. Look at this genius stuff. Yeah, it is actual BS. Yeah, how is that even allowed? Great question. What made me so angry many years later, was I did this big interview with The Atlantic. Some people have shared it. I can't remember what they called it. They called it like the darling of the alt-right or something, and now I can't remember what the headline was, but it came out last year. And the journalist was so dishonest about my life, like literally just making stuff up. And I told him that story, trying to explain to him what my thoughts were and where this ideology, you know, why I was pushed to the right when I was younger. And he went and wrote in his story, and wrote in multiple stories and interviews, that I made that story up and there was no such thing as Social Justice 12 at my school, and it's been disproven. And the curriculum for my classes in I think that would have been when did I graduate? I graduated 2013, so it would have been 2012. Yeah, the curriculum for that 2012 class, I'm trying to think, in 2011, but the curriculum for that class in that year still exists online, and you can find Social Justice 12 in the classes online. I posted this on my Twitter a few months ago, and it's like not even basic research done by him. So not only did I experience this BS in class, like literal radicalizing BS in high school, then I had journalists go and deny it and say I was lying about it when I was there. I experienced it, and the proof still exists online that class existed when I was in grade 12. So it's just that kind of stuff is what makes people be like, I want nothing to do with online leftism. I want nothing to do with real life leftism, for that matter, because you're lying to me, you're gaslighting me, and you're telling me who is privileged and who is oppressed simply based on their skin color. And you know what? There's all sorts of complex conversations we can have about historical wrongdoings, systematic problems. I have no doubt that, of course, there are racial issues and racism that still exists to an extent today, and poverty and class issues all linked in with that. But when the conversation has zero nuance, you push people away, you start with a lie, and then people no longer believe you. You start with something that is demonstrably untrue. You say, that person's privileged and you're oppressed, and you can look at them and you know they're wealthy, you know they're happy, you know all of this stuff, and you see the person that they've called, or oppressed, you see the person that they've called as privileged, and you know their life, you know they're poor, you know they're not in this privileged position. Immediately, you're going to turn people off from that conversation. Absolutely. It's same with the feminist stuff, which makes me really upset. Because I'll tell you right now, I actually really could have used some of the thought and the conversation that happens within feminist spheres when I was younger. I really could have used conversations around how to protect myself in situations, don't go drinking out alone with a bunch of guys, because yes, there are predatory guys out there. It's not all, but there are predatory people that you need to protect yourself from. Don't do X, Y, Z. Not even don't do. I know you're not supposed to say that, but unfortunately the world isn't perfect. There's always bad people out there. Make sure... I feel like I got into some circles in politics where I was definitely disrespected for my gender, which was so upsetting, because now it's like, I don't want to talk to you feminists because you just demonize all men, and I don't agree with that. But if now I want to talk about actually feeling like someone has been sexist towards me, I've got nowhere to go. You guys will just reject me and say that I deserve it, while being radicals that hate all men. And, my own side, or not my own side, but a lot that are in like the men's spheres will be like, why are you acting like a feminist? So it's created this awkward space for so many people, I believe, that want to have these complex conversations, but so many of these groups just do not allow for it and push them away, which makes it difficult to get important information that is hidden within the ridiculous radicalism of many of these conversations. Will we be able to watch this stream again tomorrow in case we can't watch today? Well, it seems like you're here right now, Jeff, but I don't know. I have no idea. I'll have to figure it out. I'm hoping to make it so that it'll replay the streams, but we'll see. Thoughts on the time that Paul Joseph Watson drunkenly came at you? Dude, rejection will get men bad. They'll get them down bad. I'll tell you right now. And those messages were mild compared to some of the nonsense that I've seen. What happened to Randall, says Peter Jackson. Randall, just for everyone, is a libertarian friend of mine in Australia who I was doing podcasts with every once in a while. Randall and I are still very good friends, but we took a break from the podcast because things were getting hella busy. Lord Ozymandias says, welcome to Twitch. Until you have to be booted. I appreciate it. Now I'm worried that who radicalized you meme is going to get me kicked off this site. We'll see. I'm testing the water. We'll see what we can do. I am against radicalization. I am against political violence. This is purely a Marxist Hot Tub ASMR stream. Just so you know. Purely. Oh... Thoughts on Twitch. This is my first experience with Twitch. So yesterday I decided I would check out a few Twitch channels and what was popular, and, I wanted to do a bit of exploring. And I clicked on the most popular recommended channel, and it took me to this person named Amaranth. I don't know if you know her, but she, licks ears or something. So she's just got, these two mic stands with ear microphones that she licks. And I was like, what's going on here? Oh, this is kind of weird. This is a bit porny or sexual, right? And then, I don't know, guys, I couldn't look away. It was one of those things. I was just like, why can't I stop watching this? I feel really awkward. But that stream did something to me, and I need to go take a bath. I need to go pray, go to the confession, because, I guess my stream colors are speaking for them. No, very straight, my friends, but I can't click on that stuff. It's no, you know what? I was like, this is insane. How does this stream have 12,000 followers? But are there studies around what ASMR does to people? I literally felt like my brain was being rewired. Like my brain, had literally done drugs or something. It's not healthy. I do not think any child, anyone underage, should be exposed to ASMR. I think it's real bad for you. It's not ASMR, it's the booba. It's a whole, oh, wow, prude conservative hates women expressing themselves. That's not expressing themselves. That's like witchcraft. That's not, no, you can express yourself, but that is witchcraft. I tell you right now, if you put her in water, I don't know, what is it? If you sink or float or something. I don't know. We should be able to find a peaceful way of finding out if someone is a witch. Lauren watching Amaranth, like, wowie, feels good, man. I cannot open that stream ever again. It's real bad. I'll keep it as stack. I hate that stuff, but sometimes I'll randomly click it to see what's happening. And low-key, it's actually good. I hate it. That's what I'm telling you. It's addicting. And I genuinely, if someone can send me this after the stream on Twitter or something, if there's been any studies on this, I cannot imagine it is good for like a 14-year-old boy to be watching that stuff all day. Like, it's not quite porn, but it's so close to it in a really strange way that I don't know what to tell you. Sebastian says, Lauren, be honest, you must miss the scenery of Western Canada. I'm in Western Canada right now, and I love it. It's beautiful. I escaped Australia briefly. Ooh. Excuse me. This is why I never wanted to live stream, because if I have to burp on stream, I just didn't want to have to do that. But there we go. We've gotten over that hurdle. But yeah, I escaped Australia briefly and I'm in Canada at the moment, but it is steaming hot here. I feel so lied to. Australia was freezing. Time zones and sun and rotation of the earth. How does it work, people? I don't know. Okay, wait. Theoretical Artist says, the ASMR stuff is fine. It's more the ridiculous subscribe to write your name on me crap that's bad. Yeah, there's something about that. I feel like it would have the same effect as like a slot machine. Because some of them are like, I'll do 5 more seconds of licking the ears if you give me biddies. And people are like doing the slot machine all day. Fun fact. Also, this is actually Lauren just history stream. We're going to learn all Lauren lore stream. I worked at a casino for like a year and a half. And I hated getting the like 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. shift because it was the most depressing thing in the world. I was a cocktail waitress there at like 3 a.m. and there would just be like some 80-year-old granny sitting there on the slot machines for 4 hours getting rid of her pension. And I'm like, what are you doing here at 4 a.m.? And I'm not kidding. I remember it was the same lady often. She had the little breathing tank with her. And I'm like, lady, why? Like, it actually broke my heart. Like, do you not have to get some rest so you can go and see your grandkids and see them on the weekend? Go to your church community and make cupcakes or something. That's what I'm going to be doing when I'm 80. I tell you right now, none of this internet stuff. I'm not going to be streaming. I am going to be making cupcakes for the church barbecue and, I don't know, fighting with the Country Women's Association or something. Taking it over slowly. I look forward to slowly and surely taking over the school board with all the other moms and doing that local politics drama. Awesome. Love it. That's what people should be doing. But alas, here we are. Saturday night from 10 onward. It's a crazy time too. Okay, quick story. Okay. Can I talk about this or am I going to get banned? One of my favorite things that ever happened when I was at the casino was we had a large Chinese immigrant population that enjoyed gambling at the casino. Obviously, there were all different ethnic groups there, but like more fresh off the boat immigrants that came in, they were just discovering Canadian culture. And one of the big aspects of Canadian culture that we all know and love, if you're Canadian, is Tim Hortons. We love Tim Hortons. Get your Timbits, get your $1 coffee, roll up the rim. If you don't know what it is, the rim of your coffee cup, they always had a little, I don't know. It was almost like a lottery ticket. You roll up the rim and you can win a car or $10,000 usually, and actually quite often you'd win a free donut or another coffee, and everyone would keep their rims, and it was the best. Tim Hortons is the best. Superior Canadian coffee. The rims are banned. Please don't tell me roll up the rim is gone now. Please don't tell me that. I don't even want to hear that. But one thing that people would usually get, maybe they call it this in America too, I don't know, is double. So the double, 2 cream, 2 sugar. So go to Tim Hortons double. And sometimes within doing my shifts as a server at the casino, I would have to do the coffee cart where you just walk around and make sure people, especially at the high roller tables, had coffee and water, and they could buy little snacks off the cart. And every single recent Chinese immigrant that didn't quite understand, they would always just hear someone else order a double from the coffee cart. So they'd always look at me and they'd be like, double, 1 cream, 1 coffee. Like every time. And I'm like, double means 2 cream, 2 sugar. Double, 1 cream, 1 sugar. But yeah, that was fun. Good times. Thinking back to the good old days at the casino. I had to quit that casino job actually to do my first trip to Europe for Rebel Media. Bless them. Yes, bless them. It was cute. There's double creamers you can buy at Save On Foods now. It's so good. Save On Foods. Domo Kaze, by the way, for everyone here, is a really, really old friend of mine. He came about and around at EV Games when I worked there. We used to do cosplay stuff together. We were in our first meme group together. Jay Maloney says, have you kept in touch with Faith Goldie or Brittany? From what I understand, Brittany's about to have her baby. We're on very good terms. She's, I'm very happy for her. Obviously, I'm not traveling at all. We haven't seen each other in ages. Faith and I had a huge falling out, unfortunately. I tried to keep the friendship together, but, Brittany Venti. I talk to Brittany every once in a while. She's doing good from what I know. But no, Faith and I sadly had a huge falling out. Are you still friends with Shu? We're not on bad terms, but I haven't talked to her in ages. Last time we talked, it was just friendly, but it's been ages. Have you seen the backlash Destiny is getting for being your friend? I don't get it. We literally did a League stream together, and we did a few debates together, and he just treated me like a human being, as you should treat anyone that you talk to. That's how I plan on treating people that come on to my show when I start doing debates, like a human being, even if I disagree with them. Like, for people to suddenly act as though Destiny has endorsed all of my ideas that I've ever had, when he was literally the main person who debunked me and shut me down when I was at the height of my career, is so absurd. And I feel like it is all of these grifters that have come in after the fact, after Destiny has done all of the weightlifting for the far left and making left-wing culture popular online. He did all the heavy lifting, and now they're standing on the shoulders of giants and acting like they were the true purist left-wingers that did all the work, and now he's far right. It is pathetic. If they knew Destiny in 2016, he was like lethal to the right wing then. He was the only left-winger debating against right-wingers at the time. And, we don't agree on everything at all. When we talk, we debate, we go back and forth. But he's capable of treating other people like human beings because he probably also understands that that's the only way you actually convince someone into your worldview and belief. One of the big reasons I also tend to lean more right is half the people in left-wing groups want me dead. Like, I literally see threads all the time on, should we consider rehabilitating Lauren, or should she just be kicked off the planet forever, like yeeted into the ocean? It's like, oh, that's great. Let's just not talk about Lauren like she's a human being, but a defective computer or something. That's great. That's healthy. Yeah, so no, that's really frustrating. Did you ever change your gender back on paper? It was only changed in Ontario. So I only had my Ontario ID as male. So, I mean, maybe in Ontario, I'm still in their systems as male, but most other countries, I am female. I am a femoid in British Columbia. All right. Whew, sorry, there's so many comments here. It's really good to have you all here. I'm shocked at how many people have decided to join when I've just started. I appreciate it, guys. Lauren, or Mr. Cat, I keep reading my own name when you tag me, says, any weird stuff happened when you changed that? I mean, I had a couple, sometimes, most of the time I had my other ID that had female on it, and when you go to bars or something, usually the bartender isn't looking for your gender on your ID. I mean, maybe for me, I have a pretty strong jawline, I don't know, but I had like one incident where I forgot my other ID. Oh my goodness. And the bartender like definitely gave me a double take when they were looking at my male one. Thoughts on Pepe the Frog? Someone was giving me the down low on Pepe the Frog on Twitch and was saying that most people don't know that it's like an ADL hate speech symbol outside of Twitch because it's just normal here. So I'm perfectly happy to have Pepes in my chat. Any Apus or Pepes are welcome. Okay, sorry, trying to read the comments here. Someone's just raging about the Conservative Party here. All fair enough. All fair enough. Does Lauren know she has a snaggletooth? Oh, I absolutely do. It's this one. It's both of my like canines stick out. They're like pushed out. My parents spent all of their money for dental on my sister, and there was none of it left for me, sadly. One day I'll hopefully be able to afford adult braces. Then I can really get into some weird Twitch ASMR stuff. It's so creepy. So many people on this site, from also what I've noticed clicking around, they LARP as children. Like, they'll dress up like their kids, do the whole fake braces, and I'm just like, do we really want to be promoting that, my friends? And I know there's, like, arguments, particularly from some very politically creepy people on here, that you need to create a market for adults who are LARPing as children and doing sexual stuff to appease the creeps. I don't think we should appease them at all. I think they should get nothing from our civilization other than jail time. Once we found out that they committed a crime. My Life for Nershole asked, what happened to you and Faith Goldie? If you want to hear a really depressing story, I guess I'll do a quick brief of what happened. So when I went to do my South Africa story, we had talked a year before I did my South Africa story about potentially doing a documentary or reports there together. And I'm going to get emotional. I've had so much messed up stuff happen since I got into politics, and I've never talked about any of it because I hate drama, but I feel like this is a more chill, talky platform. Yeah, so we had kind of talked about doing my South Africa documentary together, or one together, and then a year later I finally scheduled to go to South Africa and film, and it was around Christmas. I called her up and I was like, hey, I'm finally doing this South Africa thing, you know, because we promised we would do it together. I figured I'd call and we'd do it together, and she said, oh no, I've already planned to do a documentary at the end of next month with someone else, so we can't do it together and you have to cancel. And I was like, no, we could just do it together or both do it separately. That's fine. She's like, no, we can't both do it separately. Got really angry at me. And I was like, all right, so do you want to come on mine? Would that be all right? And she said, okay, fine. I'll come on your trip to South Africa. We'll do it together. 3 days later, I can't get a hold of her. I'm trying to text her, hey, I'm booking a flight. Like, I need to book flights for us both. 3 days later, she puts up a video saying she's doing a documentary on South Africa alone. And I'm like, hey, man, what the hell? What's going on? Like, why would you do that? And she's like, cancel your trip or I'll tell everyone you stole my idea. It was the worst. And then she told everyone that I decided to go anyways. I literally told her, I was like, dude, we can go together. I don't care. I'm still going to do this on my own because I think it's important. The more people who go and do a story on what's going on there is awesome. The more reporting is great. We can both do it. And she kept calling and being like, no, you have to cancel your trip. You have to cancel your trip. I didn't cancel my trip. I went and I made farmlands anyways. The worst part about it was that I had contacted a guide for it, and after I'd contacted him a week later, she contacted the same guide, and he had made 2 different plans to show us stuff that was going on. Someone said, if your goal is to raise awareness, the more the better. Precisely. So we had both contacted the same guy, and he had this huge plan for when she arrived a few weeks after I filmed Farmlands. She was planning on arriving, and he was like, I've got this huge plan on the ground. We've got a bunch of farmer families that are ready to do a display of what their plans are in a danger situation, how they'll get together an escape plan, how they'll get their cars together, and if they feel they're under attack or being pushed off their land, basically a whole survival setup role play scene. And that would have been amazing footage for Farmlands, but we were like, no, save that for Faith. She's coming here later. Everyone can get their own report. And he just could not get a hold of her. And he's like, it's a week before we're about to film this. We've got all these farmers that don't have money or time to take off work, but they've done this, and we cannot get a hold of her. She bailed on them. All these people that took time off work, and we didn't film it because we were saving it for her. And then she went out and spread the story that I stole her security from her, didn't even have security. I stole the trip from her. I stole the idea from her. And it was just insane. It was horrible. And I don't know why. I swear I am a sucker for punishment, but I kept trying to repair the relationship for like a year later. And she just kept spreading that. Lauren stole $5,000 from me. Lauren stole security from me. She tried to get me killed. Never even had security the whole trip. So it was just really messed up. People are real shady in this, and I've spent so long protecting shady people, and I've just decided no more of it. No more of it. Done. Do you think it was to build clout? I think that a lot of people, I don't know, there's like a really weird pie mentality in politics, and you see it in any sphere, whether it be left or right. It's like, they think that there are only so many pieces of the pie, and they have to kick someone out in order to get their piece, or in order for it to be bigger. So if I want to, only I'm allowed to report on this story. I want to be the first to the story, when the truth is, you could have a ton of people go and report on a story, and if it's really good extra information that you're adding to it and people are interested, that's even better. People are going to want to and search for more information, and if you're telling more unique stories, the more the better. This pie mentality got really toxic in the right wing, and here's my theory. So the right got really big in 2016, and as it started to get bigger, and there was so much money that was being pumped into it at the time from donors and the public just wanting to build up these platforms, people did start to get greedy, and they started to get this mentality when it seemed like things were starting to plateau a bit, that I want to be the last one standing. We got to kick other people out of here. We got to be cutthroat. We can be the only conservative commentators. The place is getting too saturated. And it became like battle royale of gossiping and lying about people. And it was just disgusting. I hated it. And it was part of the reason I took a year break, because it was like, what has this become? Like, all you guys do is gossip and lie about each other, and you don't even create content anymore. And I think that now that it is, it did that fall, and I think there was a part of it where the right almost was their own doom and demise. I think the left have taken that, and I think the left are getting to that sphere, and a lot of people call it the cannibalizing of each other, where now that they have kicked out and they've just assassinated all the right-wingers off their websites, they are completely cannibalizing one another. I'm going to pull this thing from your past, that thing from your past. I'm going to gossip about this, that, and the other. You're too right-wing. You're not far left enough. You've got a slightly different version of Marxism than me. Therefore, you need to be put up against the firing wall, right? And I'm just seeing literally the exact same pattern I observed in the right wing happening in the left wing. And someone just said, just like how Hassan cannibalized Destiny for his viewers. Yes, that's exactly what it is. People will cannibalize other creators to say, listen, I'm more pure than them. They're evil. Come and follow me instead. Goodbye. And it's really psychotic behavior. And I literally had a period towards the end of my like big political when I was at like the top of my political career, where I went to make Borderless, where I literally cut everyone out. I cut everyone out. I was like, nope, you're all out of my life. All you want is drama. Can't do it. And people did not take that well. They did not take that well at all. You know, I'm not going to review your book. I'm not going to go on your show. I'm not going to do a tour with you. Nope. And I had peace for about a year. But yeah, no, now I think that natural cycle is happening on the left. And what's very funny is people in the public don't know all of the personalities that are big on the left, like what they were like in 2015 and 2016. I know some of them from before they became big leftist creators. And, like some of these people were hitting me up in my DMs to talk about right-wing stuff when the right was big. And I do feel like there is a personality that will, okay, this is popular right now. Okay, that is popular right now. I am going to become alt-right, and now I am literally a communist because communism is popular right now, and of course that exists in all spheres. People just go to the ideology which is the most popular, and I'm certainly not saying that everyone is a grifter, because I do think people can change and shift their views, but I do not believe in this whole idea of someone is just a conservative one day, and then the next day they're literally a communist. I don't think that happens, which is also why I think the approach of de-radicalization by the far left is really stupid, because what they do is they'll be like, hey, we've set up a de-radicalization group. Come join us. Sign up here and we'll de-radicalize you. And by the way, the process of your de-radicalization is you have to disavow every single thing you ever believed. You have to say you hate it all, cut out everyone you were ever around, and then become a far leftist. And then you'll be de-radicalized, and then we can accept you into proper society. People don't do that. People do not, that's not how humans work. The only way, you know what that makes a de-radicalization website or industry? It makes it a Nazi job hunting website. Like, that's what it makes it. Because they'll just be like, well, can't get a job. Guess I'll go join this website so that, and say all the things they tell me to say so that I can get a job. Because no one actually shifts their beliefs like that. They shift them slowly. They shift them, like, hey, okay, oh, your opinions have changed slightly on this one topic, slightly on that one topic, and usually, like, I've shifted my opinions, but I'm still a conservative. I don't think I could ever, maybe if it was like a 4-year process of someone shifting their views, I could believe that, but no, I don't believe this happens overnight thing. I think it's absurd. Lol, left-wing servers I'm in are going nuts noticing you're on Twitch now. How dare I? How dare I exist on this website, my guys? Very not good. I mean, here's the thing. When it comes to, and this is also something I have not understood about the right, is some people feel the need to just shut up and hide any of the opposite or opposing opinions views. So when I came back to YouTube, I lost like 200,000 subscribers, and damn, that was a great day. I'll tell you right now, my comment section is 1,000 times better. Why? Because those 200,000 subscribers I lost literally unsubscribed from me because I said, hi, I want to look at both sides of the issue. Does that mean I'm suddenly a leftist now? Does that mean I'm suddenly a communist or something? Like, have I switched my views and I'm not a conservative anymore? No, I just know in order to come to my worldview and opinion, because I like to think my worldview and opinion is come to by looking at the facts, whether they be left-wing or right-wing facts. I hate to even portray it like that, but facts at all. I come to those opinions by looking at all of the information available. So why, if you are looking for truth, would me saying I'm going to do documentaries in which I look at both sides of the issue, why would that scare you? Why would that be upsetting to you? Like, bye. See ya if that's upsetting to you. So when I see all of these leftist Twitter accounts or Twitch chats getting upset that I'm on Twitch, if I'm a big idiot who doesn't understand anything, there should be no concern that I'm on Twitch, because it just means when I get to doing debates and talking to people, you'll have one more person to challenge your views that you'll get to absolutely decimate because you think I'm wrong, and then you'll get to understand your views even better. I am not afraid of other people's opinions or other sides' opinions, because if I'm wrong, they'll correct me, and great, I'll have found more truth in this complex, crazy world. And if I'm right, then I'm not afraid of other people's opinions being online. She thinks for herself, not on my website. Absolutely not. Unacceptable. Lauren, what happened with you and Theron Meyer? Man, Peter Jackson here has like the documents of all of my lore and history. Last time I spoke to Theron, really nice. I have nothing bad to say about Theron. It's just been years since we've talked. Oh. What beer are you drinking? Corona. Usually I would drink Han Ultra Crisp. It's an Australian beer. I don't know what is in that beer. It is actually a health drink. It's got sponsored by Han Ultra Crisp. It's got 99% no sugar, 99% no carbs. It's gluten-free. Like all of these different things free. I have no idea what's even in it. Like, I don't know, fairy piss or something. It's amazing though. All beer are health drinks. Absolutely. Lauren, thoughts on Canadian politics? I've been gone for a bit, so I have not been in the, really paying attention to it too much. But I'll tell you right now, I'm doing a project with someone who runs a big Canadian commentary website, doing a project with them at the end of the month on Canadian politics. So hopefully I'll have reintroduced myself to what's going on here after that. Thoughts on thoughts, says David. That's a really good question. Thoughts on thoughts. We should all be having them, but they're very stressful. Lauren, are you still cool with Molyneux? On good terms, haven't talked in ages. So many people I know, okay, so now that I've come to Twitch, I know there's going to be this huge group of people that are like, if you even say this, if you don't disavow this person, you agree with everything they say. If you don't hate this person, you agree with everything they say, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do a whole disavowal game on here, especially with people that I've known in the past, especially with people that I've been friends with. You know, I've always enjoyed being around weird and interesting people, even if I completely disagree with them. Unfortunately, and I'll tell you right now, I can't talk about a lot of my friends who are far-left Marxists because we literally have to have secret relationships because their career will be destroyed. But I do have friends who are in the far-left circles, and we can't talk about it publicly. And not for any reason of, ooh, I'm embarrassed to be friends with you, I'm embarrassed to be friends with you, because we're literally afraid that that person is going to lose their job for being associated with me. And that's, like, insane. I've got a girlfriend here that hopefully I'm gonna be going and doing a cabin weekend with a few of my girlfriends here in BC. And one of our girlfriends is a published hardcore feminist author, and we get along so well. We have amazing conversations, and I think her views are, like, bizarre. Like, she is a demisexual, hardcore feminist, sex-positive Christian author that literally, it's bizarre, you know? We disagree on so much, but we can get along on a human level. And there's definitely a fear there that, you know, it comes out publicly, you're friends with this person, oh, you've lost your book deal, oh, you've lost your job. So, no, I'm absolutely friends with people that maybe those of you watching this that are leftists will think are so far right and should be shot in the face. Oh man, I'm gonna get banned. I don't think that. I think you need to remain friends with people that politically disagree with you. I think you need to remain friends with people, particularly if, particularly if you think even they're going off on the deep end of the far left or the far right, and you have a chance to talk to them about moderating those views. I think that's important. And part of moderating those views is telling them your political views don't make you not a human to me anymore. Because I think what really pushes people into the depths is when they get cut off by family, friends, and community because they decided to explore certain ideas. And then the only people left for them there, the only people that suck them in, are the most radical communities who are desperate for new recruits because they're such a weird niche of society and they have no one, and they're just like, they're the dude in the trench coat waiting in the alley for you to wander down it because you're all alone, and they're like, hey kid, would you like some absolutely psychotic worldviews that are going to ruin your life and give you psychosis? And we're driving people down those alleyways by telling them, oh, you have questions about immigration? Well, I can't talk to you anymore. Oh, you know, you have questions, or even by allowing your 14-year-old to scroll Twitch casually, apparently, these days. Grilling stream when? Oh my goodness, I am so warm right now. Oh. What happened to the rationality movement? The internet was moving forward, and then bam, Gamergate. I think the rationality movement became radical rationalists as well. Everyone eventually spirals and radicalizes whichever sphere of the internet you're in. The only reason to disavow someone/a group is to try and protect yourself from people that want to attack you for irrelevant things. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. All these people that are like, if you just disavowed your past, Lauren, we'd listen to what you have to say today. I'm like, well, first of all, you want me to disavow myself for things I didn't do half the time? And that's what these people don't get. It's like, Lauren, you never apologized for literally shooting flares at dying puppies. And I'm like, okay, like, we can talk about that, but there's absolutely no evidence for that. It didn't happen, but like, I'm not going to apologize for things I didn't do, first of all, and I'm not going to give an apology that you guys don't actually want, because you don't want an apology from me. You want to see me on my knees begging and crying so that you can put the thumb out and go, dead. Ban her. Pathetic. And never see me again. Because I don't want you guys as my audience unless you learn how to treat people like human beings. I'm not here to suck up to someone who is actually already a radical. If you want to listen to me and learn new ideas, great. But I'm not looking for your favor. I'm not. Because you're a radical too. If you're sitting here wanting someone to apologize to you for things they didn't do, someone you don't know the nuances of their past or history or anything. No, absolutely not. And then also, you know, after you apologize, they're like, okay, but why haven't you apologized for just being a normal conservative? Okay, but why haven't you apologized for being a centrist and not being an ally? Oh, why haven't you apologized for being a white ally? Oh, why haven't you apologized for not being a, like, they'll always move the goalpost. It will always move. And if they really cared, anyways. Kilua says, I'm a liberal and agree people exaggerate what you did, but you did do some pretty effed up things. All right, Kilua, what effed up thing? Let's talk about this. I'm happy to talk about this. I wish Lance wanted to do our IRL conversation one day. I could talk about my horrible involvement with the political organization First Europa that doesn't exist. But, yeah, I'll answer a couple more questions. I do have to leave here in probably 10 minutes. I'm going to do a two-hour live stream hopefully tomorrow night with my good friend Counterpoints, and we'll play a bit of Vidya. And then the next coming weeks, I'm going to plan some big old debates. I think I've got a debate planned on, his name's Mouthy Infidel, and we were going to do it with on Destiny's stream, I think. I assume he wants to talk about transgender issues. Honestly, not going to lie, I kind of never want to talk about transgender issues again, just because I did it so much and I'm just bored of that conversation. Not that there's not more talk to have, but whatever. And then I'm going to talk with an Indigenous activist on whether there's an active genocide going on in Canada. I think his Twitter is @BathBoy, and he also wanted to do Destiny's stream, I think. Everyone, this is what's so funny, is there's this huge audience on Twitter that are just shrieking about, you cannot platform Lauren Southern. How dare you even consider platforming her? And then the second people realize that I'm the only conservative available to debate them right now, my inbox is full of leftists saying, please debate me, please debate me. Holy crap, debate me right now, Lauren. And they don't even know what they want to debate me on. They just want to debate me because they know they'll get views, and they know that they'll finally get out of this dichotomy they're in with just debating slightly different leftists, which is super uninteresting to watch because then they have to exaggerate each other's opinions, and they're debating the most ridiculous minutiae that no one cares about. So they're all desperate to debate me, but at the same time, they're all like, this is evil platforming, how dare you do it? And I'm not the one they're all like, Lauren's trying to sneak into our circles. She's trying to sneak in on our debates. No! You're all challenging me to debates. I didn't challenge Xander Hall. I didn't challenge Hunter. I didn't challenge Lance. They all reached out to me, my dudes. Like, what is going on here? But yeah, anyways, I am happy to talk, and I'm happy that people want to talk to me, but I get really annoyed when there's this portrayal that I'm the one going out and trying to work my way into their circles. No, it's the other way around. You need someone to talk to that actually has different views instead of constantly debating slightly different leftists, because that makes for interesting content. That makes for an interesting conversation that people want to hear and want to listen to, and that is good, especially if we can talk to each other like we're human beings. And as much as I know you guys love blood sports and you love seeing a debate like the other day devolve into proving negatives and did priests burn down their own churches? It's a mass grave because the definition of mass is big. Like, I know you guys get a good laugh out of that, but good conversations can also be great to watch as well if people want to have them and treat me like a human being. That'd be cool. That'd be awesome. But yeah, someone asked about whether the serfs debate is happening. So here's what happened. I told him we could do a debate on Destiny's stream. He said no, because Destiny apparently accused him of funding Hamas or something. I was told by one of my friends that Hamas is supposed to be pronounced like but I feel stupid doing that, so Hamas, we'll just call it that. I don't know whether that happened or not. I'd have to look into it, but I do find it funny that he is so opposed to engaging with anyone who slanders him, considering he wants to talk to me after he slandered me. So I was like, all right, no Destiny, and he wants no moderator at all, which I find sus as hell. Why wouldn't you want a mod? That's like whenever you're in a relationship, I'll tell you right now, this is some relationship advice on stream right now, my dudes, is if your partner in the relationship, if you're in trouble and your partner is like, we are absolutely never going to a counselor, we are not seeing a counselor, nope, don't tell anyone else what is going on in our relationship, no. That is a problem. Like, why don't you want anyone else to observe what you're doing? If you intend on acting in good faith, if you intend on wanting to let me speak my allocated time, why would a moderator be a problem? Do you hear what I'm saying? Because it would just be the exact same situation with someone to confirm the good faith is occurring. So why is a moderator a problem unless you're going to do some BS, like mute me and talk over me and gish gallop and read through your Spark notes that you've got on your computer? Mysticat said he would want to steamroll you with BS rather than let you talk. Exactly. So it makes zero sense to me why he would not want a moderator. So I was like, okay, fine, no mod, I'll agree. Let's do it in person. Face to face, we're in the same city. You said you wanted to say these things to my face, let's do it. Absolutely not. He would not do it, no. So I've been calling him out on this, saying, dude, you keep dodging me. Your only terms are if you can be online with your computer Spark Notes where you can mute me with absolutely no mod, which is absurd. What's going on? Like, you said you wanted to have this conversation. So then he finally does this big tough man. Fine, let's debate, Lauren. We'll do it at Politicon. Politicon isn't even scheduled. Like, it's not happening this year. Not to mention, why the hell would Politicon host Lance from the Surfs and Lauren Southern debating on whether Lauren shot flares at refugees? Can you imagine a Politicon panel hosting that? Why? So that is like the biggest, and he got like 1,000 likes on these tweets of all of his like people. Yes, look at how based he is. He wants to debate her at Politicon. It was the biggest dodge I've ever seen, and like cover up for a dodge, because no one goes and looks at the tweets below where I've mentioned Politicon isn't even happening this year, and then he's like, why are you getting into the minutia? You have to schedule it at Politicon. Anyways, yeah, so basically he's still dodging. Yeah, ADHD says, Politicon is not going to ask Lance to come on a panel. What? Exactly, so unfortunately, I was really excited to do that, but I'm not going to set myself up to be muted and screamed over. That's absurd. No one in their right mind would do that. So I wish the man would man up and do an IRL face-to-face. Do you look more like Christian Bale or Kristen Dunst? Settle a debate in chat. If I shaved my hair and had it like short, do you think I could do American Psycho? Do you think I could get there? I kind of do like Christian Bale. I think it's my mouth. I don't know. There's something about it. Kristen Dunst, I've had someone, I had a cameraman with me in an elevator in Toronto, and someone assumed I must have been, filming for a show or whatever, and they literally thought I was Kristen Dunst and asked for a photo. All right, let's see. Yeah, it's the mouth. Exactly, I'm telling you. All right, I'll do an American Psycho cosplay for you all one stream. We'll do it. We'll do dress-up streams. I used to do a lot of cosplay. This is a left-leaning liberal chat now. Oh, is this what's going to happen? Is it going to be who can make Lauren left-wing? Can Lauren make Twitch right-wing, or can Twitch make Lauren left-wing? And it'll be a constant battle. And eventually Amaranth will just win, and Lauren will just become addicted to ASMR and stop making documentaries and politics altogether and just sit in her room donating biddies to ASMR channels. It's the epic battle between the three factions, the right, the left, and Amaranth ASMR. Oh. The intro turned me into a commie. I'm glad. The part of the book that I was reading was actually about to get into a bit about needing to redistribute the money to the people. Existentialism. Wait, what chapter did I just pass here? Marxism, existentialism, and psychoanalysis. Should I intro every stream with a bathtub? Should we do that? I've actually you can't see it, but I have the bath behind me right now because I couldn't move it. I filled it up and now I can't. Who's Mark? Who's Marcus? Marcus? I'll sell this bath water to you guys to raise money for a new studio. Communist bath water. Oh, hi, Mark. Lauren, did you really say this? And it is in asterisk, so I don't know. Did I? Who got you into Marcuse? James Lindsay is going through all his works now. My communist friend in university that ran a podcast with me. I've actually got One Dimensional Man in my books here as well. They're all stacked in the closet. Each stream we read a segment of the Communist Manifesto until we finish it, says Ooh Locky, with James Lindsay. I've just found James Lindsay's stuff. I need to watch and get into a bit of it more, but that sounds fun. I think it's so important to read the other side's work. People ask me all the time, Lauren, what podcasts do you listen to these days? What are you reading these days? And I almost never tell them because I'm embarrassed to say that every single podcast and all the content I listen to these days is left-wing. I'm not kidding. And it's not because it's like, oh, I can't stand right-wing. No, it's because I actually can finish right-wingers' sentences in my head before they've even started them. Like, I have spent so much time in right-wing commentary, I know every single talking point, I know every single take they have on every single issue, that, no, even if it's a brand new topic that has been brought onto the political scene, never seen before, I'll go to listen to a right-wing podcast, and I will know exactly what the host's take is going to be. So I just listen to left-wingers because I'm like, okay, at least I can get a different take. Even if I don't agree with it, it'll be something new. And I can start to think about these issues in different ways. And a lot of times I'll just have my kind of conservative perspective confirmed, but I still get to see an interesting little spin on issues that I've talked about and thought about for a while. I got banned by a streamer because I said BLM is a corrupt org. Oh man. Well, don't they have, like... I'm pretty sure Breonna Taylor's parents, or one of the individual who had a victim as their child, came out and said that their local BLM chapter was like hoarding all of the money and not giving any of them the money. And a bunch of the BLM leaders have bought insanely expensive houses. I mean, they got millions and millions of dollars during the whole George Floyd stuff. Where did that all go? Where did it all go? Are we going to get, are we going to see the tax returns from these organizations? And, half of these BLM organizations just put up, like, a little quick pay link. Hey, cash app me for BLM. And we have no idea if you're white, cash app me to BLM. Thanks. I think in fact, I'm going to double check. I think this is legit, but I want to make sure I'm not making stuff up here. Okay. All right, guys. Let's see if I can set this up. So this is the Washington Post, so you guys can't get mad and say it's just some crazy right-wing shenanigans that I'm putting up on here. All right? Got it? Add. Sorry, I'm window capture. Okay. Got a window capture here. Oh, here we go. I tell ya, I'm a genius here, people. All right, bringing up the window chapter. Here we go. Can you see that? Let me know if you can see that. I'll get much quicker with this as we go, I promise. Okay. I love this. So Facebook's most popular Black Lives Matter page was a scam run by a white Australian, report says. On the surface, the Facebook page had all the markings of an authentic Black Lives Matter group. Its profile picture, Black Lives Matter, in block text against a bright yellow background. It had nearly 700,000 followers, making it the largest Facebook page affiliated with the movement, or so people thought. The alleged BLM Facebook page also brought in at least $100,000 in donations through third-party online fundraisers such as PayPal and Patreon, CNN reported. Oh my gosh, they found some of the money was deposited into Australian bank accounts, and at least one online fundraising account was linked to Ian MacKay, an official with the National Union of Workers. I tell ya, there you go. Oh, let's not open my Twitter. Dangerous games we're playing here on my computer. Let's go straight back to my my camera scene before I accidentally show you my DMs. Yeah, but I'm telling you right now, who knows where this money went, but I think a lot of white Australian dudes are rolling in dough right now. So yeah, no, you shouldn't be, if you are left-wing, you should be very concerned about BLM scams. You should be very concerned about the money being taken from families who need it. So I don't know why you were banned from that. Sounds like someone's a little afraid of the truth. Or maybe they're running a scam BLM page themselves. I don't know. Lauren, are you afraid of spiders, or are they... Why did I did not mean to pause the chat. Or are they afraid of you? I usually try to save them, honestly. I'm afraid of them, but I try to save them. But in Australia, I keep finding like redbacks and ones that are poisonous. So now it's just become full-out war. I have to murder them. Do you have any relationship with Nick Fuentes? I don't think we've ever even spoken, except for when I did a stream called the Boogaloo stream, like... No, not Boogaloo. What was it? Electric Boogaloo. I can't even remember what it was called. I did a stream like 4 years ago that had ContraPoints and Nick Fuentes and all these different personalities on it, and that's the only time we've ever talked. I don't think he likes me at all. I'm pretty sure he's just shit-talked me hardcore, but I don't think anyone's money should be seized by the FBI from their private bank accounts, of course not. I don't agree with his politics either, if that's what you're asking. He doesn't like any women, precisely, and I think that's such a, you know, if your view... Okay, here's my take. Especially with the MGTOW community, for some reason conservatives decided to get in bed with, like MGTOW and some movements that really, really hate women. And to MGTOW people in my audience, guys who just want to not talk to women or not be involved with them, whatever, that's your choice. If you just want to not get married again because you got screwed over in the marriage courts, whatever, that's your choice. I think that's perfectly fine, and there are perfectly fine complaints about the system and how it treats men. But MGTOW, so many of them claim they never want to talk to women again, they never want to be involved with them again, and then spend the rest of their lives talking about them all day. You hate this group so much, and you want to walk away from them so much that you are now going to dedicate every waking hour of your life talking about them? That does not sound like walking away at all. It's like the person who says they're about to leave the party, but they're mad that no one has noticed they're leaving the party, so they're like, I'm leaving! I don't even care if you guys notice me! And then they open the door, and they look back, and they see that no one cares that they're leaving, and then they start slamming the door and try to, hey, I'm leaving! I'm leaving! Does anybody care? No one cares. Like, go do your own thing. I don't care. That's fine. Go your own way. Happy for you, King. Woo. But they never want to go their own way. They want everyone to notice that they're leaving, and they want to just complain about women for the rest of forever. Like, why? I don't get it. And I think it's, I don't know. There's absolutely nothing conservative about hating women. There's absolutely nothing conservative about not wanting to get married or have a family. So I don't know why conservatives got in bed with people who hate women and don't like families. Don't get it at all. MGTOW is to conservatism what Islam is to feminism. You know what I mean? Like how you have these political movements like the right wing trying to make these two completely incompatible things with their movement work. And then you have the left trying to make Islam and feminism a thing. And it's like, all right, guys, you know what? You keep doing that. Whatever. Ugh. Yeah, so I find absolutely nothing productive about hating the other sex, whether it's from feminists or whether it's from the right. Very silly. There's nothing pro-family about that. Nothing nothing pro getting married. Like, why would you want to marry a gender that you hate? I don't know. I don't know, my dudes. I think it was the MRA MGTOW crossover, which, once again, see, this is the sad thing. It's like my feelings towards feminism. I actually could have really used a not toxic, not completely psychotic form of feminism when I was younger, and I would have loved that because I did need some advice on what to do and how to navigate the world as a woman, because women do have different issues to men. They do have unique problems, but I didn't get that because this group decided to go into psycho territory where they hated men. And now you have, you know, these MGTOW and MRA communities that some of them have perfectly reasonable complaints about the marriage courts. Some of them have perfectly reasonable complaints about the fact, dude, there was a guy who tried to set up a men's shelter for abused men in, I think it was Toronto, it was definitely in Eastern Canada, and he could get zero funding for it. The government did not care. People bullied him for it, protested him for it. And mind you, once again, this is a shelter to protect abused men in an abusive relationship. And he ended up committing suicide because the shelter had to shut down, and he just like lost his mind trying to do that. That is a conversation. That is something we need to talk about. Duh. But no, when you start making it every single problem that I have in my life is women's fault, and obviously it's so obvious when they're projecting like one failed relationship they have onto the rest of the world because they don't want to deal with that inner trauma, that's when you lose me. That's when I am mentally gone. I've also noticed some of these MGTOW MRAs come off as awfully effeminate, bitchy relative to stoic Western men. There's absolutely something about that the internet does to guys, especially in the communities that complain a lot about women. I remember hearing a quote that said the internet turns men into women. Whenever I see guys getting like real gossipy and bitchy online, there's nothing attractive about that, my guys. Nothing attractive. When a female champ in League kills you, hating women intensifies. Tenzin says, Casey J is a former feminist, but she tried to understand males' problems. Kudos to her, but she disappeared from social media like Aang from the Avatar. I don't blame her. I don't blame her. This can, like, you have to be a bit of a psycho to survive in the political community, and I barely did. That's why I, once again, took my break for a year, and I had to reorient myself with reality and what people in the real world care about, rather than just what the internet thinks problems are. Because if you spend too much time on this website, and touch grass is my new favorite phrase, if you don't go touch grass, you'll end up being a Twitter person trying to regulate how left-wing lefties are and how right-wing righties are and who can be friends with who all day and getting into all the nuances of crazy internet drama. And you know what? Well, some of that can be good for me. Like, oh, let's talk about Lauren's debate all day. Don't do it all day. You know what? I'll enjoy a podcast when I'm like doing dishes and getting ready for the day, or I'll join a stream and listen. I absolutely listen to streams myself, and I'll enjoy it while I'm going about my day, doing things that, you know, things I have to get done where I can't go out and see friends at that time, where I can't be doing something creative or cook, or yeah, even when I'm cooking, I'll listen to streams. But like, I do it at a time where, you know, I can listen to a stream and still allocate a large part of the rest of my day for hanging out with family, doing creative things on my own, talking to friends. So please, if you have to shut down my stream and not listen to me because you want to go spend time with family or doing something else, do that. Way healthier. I'd rather have a healthy, sane audience than one that gave me all of the views in the world, you know? All right, guys. Oh, I am sweating so bad. I'm glad you can't really see it in the video, but I gotta duck out. This has almost been 2 hours speaking about having a life. Mr. Cat says, no, Lauren, I prefer my parasocial relationship. Don't listen to her. Don't shut down the stream and lurk instead. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to duck out here. Tomorrow night, 6 p.m., I'm probably going to have Connor Points on, and we're going to come up with some topics. If you want to submit topics or anything you want me to cover on the stream, my Twitter is @Lauren_Southern, and I will check out your suggestions. Oh, what am I looking at here? I don't even know how Twitch works. Follow me, I guess. I want to figure out how to do subscribers, and I want to figure out how to put the chat up on screen so we can see what you guys are chatting about. Man. Oh, thank you, Samantha. Samantha is lit. Everyone give love to Samantha for modding this chat today. 2 hours, sigh. This is just a casual streamer. Yeah, no, I'm not going to be streaming for 7 hours a day. I'm sorry, my friends. Maybe like 3 hours. I don't even know how to raid someone at 6 Revenge. I am... Like, this is hello, fellow young people, the stream. I don't know what's going on. I don't even know how I got here. I've actually got dementia, and I just wandered and clicked stream on my computer, and I have no idea what's going on, so... I'll figure it out. By, like, the 5th stream, I'm sure I'll have the chat on the stream. I'm sure I'll have subscribing figured out, and I'm sure I'll have rating people figured out. But give me 5 streams, my guys. 5 streams, all right? Peace out. Lovely to have you here and lovely to answer your questions. I will chat tomorrow if I can figure out how to end this. All right. Oh, sub button soon. She just needs to stream a few more days and she'll get there. Awesome. All right.